But then he'd be, my friends, another year of Nintendo has come and gone, and being the armchair analyst that I am, I'm willing to admit it at this point, I cannot help but try to predict what the company will do in 2022. I cannot help it. It is impossible. If this is your first time here, basically what I'm gonna do is take you month by month and predict exactly what I think will happen between reveals, releases, rumors, whatever. Then at the end, we'll go over my predictions from last year and see if I got anything right. Please keep in mind that this video will mainly focus on first-party or exclusive Switch titles, as it would be much too hard to predict everything that might happen in the third-party space. Let's keep the intro short this year because we got a lot of predicting to do. No time for jokes, no silly gags. Here is what I think Nintendo will get up to in the year 2022. Yeah! January. The year will kick off with the release of Pokemon Legends Arceus. The game will review decently well. Most will consider it a little too safe, acting as more of a concept than a fully fledged title in a whole new style, but still a great big step in an exciting new direction. In addition to that, January will see the announcement of a new Yoshi game for mobile devices. We'll get a teaser image and we'll know it's gonna be a puzzle game, but that's it. We'll just have to wait until later in the year to learn more. February. I absolutely hate just looking at what Nintendo did in one year and saying they'll do it again the next year because I'm always wrong. But sometimes I just can't think of anything better. Their 2021 Direct schedule was perfect, so hey, maybe this time I'll get lucky. As was the case in 2021, February 2022 will give us our first big Nintendo Direct of the year. It'll open with a mysterious teaser. We see a very familiar starscape, but instead of revealing an even more familiar symbol or a big 4, the camera pulls into the cockpit of a ship. The camera angles are very close, the lighting is low, the details are largely obscured, but we all know whose ship we're in. Suddenly, the panel beeps, and we see something about a distress signal on the display. Our beloved bounty hunter quickly punches in a command, and we watch as the gunship engages the hyperdrive and zips off into space, disappearing into a speck. After it does, a strange but also familiar ship decloaks. This ship was clearly spying on our dear Samus, and it takes off after her. When it's gone, a number fades onto the screen. 2023. Arlo, who was fully prepared to wait at least 5 years for development, loses his mind. After the teaser, Shinya Takahashi will come on and say something along the lines of, well, what do you think? Progression on Metroid Prime 4 is going very well, and the team at Retro Studios can't wait to show you the game next year. In the meantime, though, how about this? Then we'll get a rundown of Metroid Prime HD. Yes, sadly, the rumors were true. Instead of a full Metroid Prime Trilogy HD collection, we will get a remaster of just the first Metroid Prime game. This will be seen as a baffling decision and ignite all the old arguments all over again when its $60 price tag is revealed, but it'll still look pretty darn cool. The game will be slated for August. Next up will be the reveal of an overdue entry in a weirdly prolific series. Mario vs. Donkey Kong vs. Bowser. Bowser wants to get in on all the mini action, so Mario and DK team up against him. The game will have single-player and co-op campaigns, as well as a 3-player competitive mode. It will be given a June release date. Next, a new Kirby in the Forgotten Land trailer, giving us a bunch of new details and a look at the story and villain. I don't really know enough about the Kirby series and its themes, so I'm hesitant to come up with my own plot and villain. But I guess the plots are usually pretty simple in the marketing, and the real villain hits you right at the end, so I'm gonna say it's, Pig Guy. Yeah, there's a bad pig guy, and Kirby's gotta fight him in this weird place. Why? I don't know. Guess you'll have to buy the game and find out. Kirby and the Forgotten Land will be given a May release date. Next, Advance Wars Reboot Camp trailer with an April release date. Then, at the end of the Direct, we'll see Shiggy playing a game with a Pro Controller, but the screen won't be visible. It'll be like, I created Zelda 35 years ago, and I'm real excited for you to see the Breath of the Wild sequel. I really think it's the best possible culmination of the whole series. And we'll be like, but then he'll be like, we're still not gonna show you any of it today, and we'll be like, come on! But then he'll say it's because they're having a dedicated Breath of the Wild sequel Direct in a few weeks, early in March. Oh, yeah. Then he'll gesture to the TV and be like, I do have something else very close to my heart that I'd like to show you today, though. Boom! New Star Fox, once again co-developed with Platinum Games and titled, somewhat confusingly, Star Fox: The Lilac Wars. The trailer is super action-packed, tons of gameplay. It'll look a lot like Star Fox Zero and thus Star Fox 64. Some on-rail stuff, some open-air stuff. The game will obviously be playable with Joy-Cons or a Pro Controller and give the option of gyro aiming, and pressing a button will switch the player to cockpit view so they can aim at more extreme angles. It will be immediately obvious that this is an iteration of Zero's control scheme, but adapted to work with a regular controller and feel a little less alienating to the average player. Andross will be back as the villain, which will make me grumble, but overall the reveal will be very well received and the game will look pretty promising. Star Fox: The Lilac Wars will be slated for September. That's it for the first Direct and February, so let's move on to March. The day before the Switch's anniversary, we'll get our Zelda Direct. This will be Breath of the Wild 2's big reveal, with the title and tons of gameplay and details and story stuff, which I'm supposed to predict now, huh? Oh, here's the thing. I've done full title and concept predictions for the last 2 years, and I don't think I have it in me to do another one. Kane's been doing the art for these, and he doesn't want to do it either. Do you, Kane? Do you want to do more Zelda art? No. I didn't think so. So you know what? I'm just gonna take another stab at the title and call it good. The Legend of Zelda, Song of the Sages. There you go. The game will be given a holiday release window. March will also see the release of Triangle Strategy, which will be cool. April, here we'll get a Pokemon Direct, which will reveal something everyone considered, but also kinda doubted because it seemed a little too ridiculous. Platinum DLC for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. That's right, the Pokemon Company did indeed hold back content and refinements from their games so they could sell them back to us later. Oh, but even worse, you can't just jam all these changes into a pre-existing game, so not even all changes are present. It's mainly just the Battle Frontier, along with some different wild Pokemon and a few other things. Sparkling Platinum, releasing in May, will be seen by many as a new low for the company. After that reveal, they'll show us some concept art and tell us that a big content expansion is also coming for Legends Arceus sometime in the holiday season, which will be quite a bit more exciting, but we'll have to wait to learn more. April will also see the release of Advance Wars Reboot Camp. There you go. May, Kirby and the Forgotten Land will drop, and it will review quite well. I'll mainly lament its very low difficulty and lack of difficulty options, but I'll still enjoy it a good amount. Beyond that, a rumor will start going around in May about something Grezzo is working on. It seems someone's found an old job listing that mentions an RPG. The company is best known for working on Zelda games, most recently the Link's Awakening remake, so people will naturally speculate about what this could mean. A brand new top-down Zelda? A Zelda RPG? Something else? Who knows? May will also see the release of the first teaser trailer for the Mario movie. It'll be hard to get a feel for the comedic quality, but we'll get a taste of some of the performances and some vague glimpses of Mario-esque locations. Unfortunately, we'll have to wait a little longer for the complete preview. June, it's E3 time, and that means another Nintendo Direct. This one will start with, wait for it, no, really wait for it though, a remake of the first Mother game. So that's what Grezzo was working on. Along the same lines of the Wii U localization, it will be titled Earthbound New Beginnings. It'll look a lot like Link's Awakening, with a toy-like style and strong depth of field effect. This style will go over a lot better in this context though, and fans will be out of their minds with excitement. People will wonder what this could mean for the series, if we'll eventually get remakes of the other two games as well, or maybe even a fourth game? But of course, we'll be left guessing there. Earthbound New Beginnings will be given a holiday release window. Next, Bayonetta 3 will get a new trailer, though it will come with the somewhat unfortunate news that the game is being delayed to February 2023. Later, there will be rumors swirling around about a troubled development, thus the very long dev time. Next in the Direct, a new trailer for Star Fox The Lilac Wars with a September release date. Then a Splatoon 3 mention with a Splatoon Direct announced for July. How exciting! Then the full reveal of the Pokemon Legends Arceus DLC, which I'm not even gonna try to come up with a concept for because I don't know enough about the actual game yet, but it will be a big expansion and act as Pokemon's holiday game, similarly to the Sword and Shield DLC. Please remember to come back and laugh at me when we end up getting the next full generation of Pokemon instead. Next, a Song of the Sages story trailer with a solid November release date. Thank you. And finally, right at the end, Koizumi comes on. He starts talking about how Super Mario Odyssey is almost 5 years old, and how they were aware of all the people asking for Super Mario Odyssey 2 in the same vein as Super Mario Galaxy 2. He says that they didn't feel that was the right decision, faking us out, before saying that they decided to do something else instead. The trailer starts with Mario, Cappy, Peach, and Tiara flying on the Odyssey, clearly enjoying a vacation together. Suddenly, Bowser's airship appears, and Bowser blasts them with a bullet bill. Mario is knocked overboard, and Peach grabs his hand. She's about to pull him up when Bowser shoots another bullet bill at Mario, who lets go to avoid it. Mario falls, and Cappy tries to help him, but Bowser Jr. catches them both in a big floating cage. Bowser brags that while he was stuck on the moon, he built a big prison fortress, and he's gonna trap Mario there. So the baddies leave, and the badly damaged Odyssey plummets, with Peach and Tiara still aboard. It's about to crash, but Peach smiles, pulls out her parasol, and flies away from the Odyssey, Tiara hanging onto her shoulder. The two of them get whipped around by the wind for a bit, then whoosh right into the screen. Logo, Super Peach Odyssey, coming in 2023. That'll be the end of another great Direct. And the month of June will close out with the release of Mario vs. Donkey Kong vs. Bowser, which will be exactly what you expect. July. Here we'll get a real juicy Splatoon Direct, filling us in on every detail we could possibly want. But that won't be all. This is where we'll get the news that Splatoon is getting an animated series. Well, it'll be a short run, only 4 episodes to start, but who knows if it'll lead to something else. It'll be called Splatoon Off the Hook, and follow Pearl, Marina, Cap'n Cuttlefish, Judd, and other familiar characters as they try to stop DJ Octavio from messing up a giant celebratory turf war. It'll have that kind of cel-shaded CG style that's made to imitate traditional anime. Because of Nintendo's partnership with Universal, the show will be available to stream on Peacock and on the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. That's right, Nintendo really does want to make NSO more valuable, and this shows us that they plan on using it as a streaming service of sorts for their own visual content moving forward. How interesting! What other shows might we get? Will the Mario movie be on it as well? Only time will tell. Later in the month, Splatoon 3 will release, and it will be great, and the show will come soon after. Then, near the end of the month, we'll get a random Twitter reveal for the Yoshi mobile game. It'll be called Yoshi's Egg Blast. A little like Bubble Bobble, it'll have Yoshi throwing different colored eggs up at different colored fruit in order to match colors and knock the fruit down. Tap the fruit as it falls to eat it and turn it into more eggs, and try to eat all the fruit without running out of eggs. Sometimes if you manage to eat special fruit, you'll open an egg with a costume in it, similarly to the costumes in Yoshi's Crafted World. And yes, sadly, this will mean a loot box system, where you can pay extra money to get more special eggs and costumes. Oh well. Yoshi's Egg Blast will release a few days after the reveal. August. The first big happening this month is the release of Metroid Prime HD. Again, it will spark a big pricing debate and feel like yet another missed Metroid opportunity, since it won't look like Metroid Prime 2 or 3 will be getting remasters, but it'll be real pretty and introduce us to the updated twin-stick controls we'll presumably be using in Prime 4. I always loved the pointer controls on the Wii version, but I'll find this more traditional control scheme to be a breath of fresh air. And I'll be happy to have a greatly enhanced version of one of my favorite games of all time. Beyond that, we'll get another Pokemon Direct, giving us the final deets on the Legends Arceus DLC with a December release date, as well as revealing some other small Pokemon projects as usual. September, the final big Direct of the year. This one will open with beautiful vistas, flowers, big robot things. Yes, That's right, it's a teaser trailer for Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which will be given a 2023 release window. After that, another Earthbound New Beginnings trailer with a December release date. Then, the announcement that Game Boy and Game Boy Color games are coming to the NSO expansion pack. We'll all complain about how it took over a year to get new systems, but the games will be a very nice addition to the service. And to our great surprise, Nintendo won't increase the price at all. The expansion pack will still be too expensive, but between these games and the idea of streaming content, the future will seem brighter than ever. The rest of the Direct will mostly have little stuff, but end with one more reveal. A nervous little lizard guy slowly opens a giant door. On the other end of the chamber, facing the other way and hunching over a big map, there is a large, familiar figure wearing a cape and crown. The shadowy figure turns and points a finger as if to give a signal. The little lizard guy runs off. Meanwhile, DK and his friends are taking a nice swim in the ocean. DK swan dives from a high ledge and faceplants into the sand. After a brief comedic head-pull-out Tweety Bird moment, he looks around and sees that the water is disappearing. The entire ocean is falling down to nothing. Everyone looks up at the horizon and sees a giant vacuum sucking up all the water into a towering tank, along with most of the ocean life. When the ocean floor is completely revealed, a hatch opens up and a metal tower rises from below the tank, lifting it up. When the tower is fully revealed, Dixie pulls out a pair of binoculars and the gang sees King K. Rool standing at the top of the tower. He hits a button on a remote and a cannon on the front of the tower fires. A giant cannonball flies right at them. DK jumps in the way and tries to catch it. He manages to slow it down, and Diddy, Dixie, and Cranky jump behind him, and the four of them manage to bring it to a stop. They breathe a sigh of relief, but then hear a beeping sound. There's a panel on the side of the cannonball with a timer that ticks down to 0, and the ball explodes, sending our heroes flying to the other side of the island. Then we see snippets of gameplay. It seems King K. Rool has drained the ocean so he can build his own kingdom on the ocean floor. The Kongs adventure through Kong Island, wet sand dunes, underwater caverns, crude military-style encampments, and high-tech factories, battling the Kremling army all the while. This is Donkey Kong Country: Rise of the Kremlings. At first, we'll be a little confused because early rumors about the game mentioned it being worked on by the Super Mario Odyssey devs. But if they were working on Super Peach Odyssey and Retro was working on Metroid Prime 4, who was making DK? Well, it'll turn out that the Odyssey devs were working on both games at once, with Retro also multitasking to help out. The game will look phenomenal, and with Retro's inclusion, it will seem that DK is finally getting his full Returns trilogy. Rise of the Kremlings will be slated for sometime in 2023. Beyond the Direct, September will naturally see the release of Star Fox: The Lylat Wars. The game will review very well, maybe a little too short and not quite as grand as a modern Star Fox could be, but still a good return to form. Finally! Next month is October. This is when we'll get a full theatrical trailer for the Mario movie. It will indeed be a very loose origin story, and we'll have Mario and Luigi doing construction work in a city filled with people. But like, human people. No, but like Mario human people? You know what I mean? They get a chance to do a special job for Princess Peach over in the Mushroom Kingdom, which Mario sees as an opportunity to get away from their humdrum lives and do something important. When they arrive, Peach is kidnapped by Bowser, and Mario takes initiative and heads off to save her, a worried Luigi and aggravated Toad in tow. Along the way, they meet DK and all that, and there are a bunch of sappy monologues about Mario wanting to be a hero, and that's his whole thing, being a hero. Also, DK farts in the trailer, so be ready for that. November! Early in the month, to the great frustration of many, we will start hearing rumors about a new Switch hardware iteration. The news cycle will start all over again. The rumors will say that the OLED was supposed to be a fully upgraded Switch, but that the chip shortage messed up their plans. But they're definitely gonna put out a Switch Pro in early 2023. For sure this time. I will make videos about it, and people will be mad at me. And finally, after such a long, long wait, The Legend of Zelda: Song of the Sages will release. And I'm not doing my whole overly cautious, borderline pessimistic thing here. The game's going to be great. Nearly everything we could have wanted from a sequel. A completely fresh experience that doesn't feel at all like a retread. An awesome story, cool scary stuff, the whole shebang. I can't wait. End of the year, December. Earthbound New Beginnings will release, and it will be great. It will struggle to sell thanks to the $60 price tag, but the game will be a ton of fun and get plenty of new people into the Mother series. The Game Awards will happen in December as usual, and here Nintendo will give us the final theatrical trailer for the Mario movie. It won't show us anything special, but we'll learn that Nintendo is indeed planning on making the movie available to watch with the NSO expansion pack. Just not until sometime in 2023. Also at the Game Awards, Song of the Sages will be nominated for Game of the Year, but it will lose to Elden Ring. Obviously. Soon after, the Mario movie will finally release, and you know what? It's not gonna be terrible. The humor will fall pretty flat for a lot of people, but overall, they'll see it as a decently entertaining romp. Snooty old Arlo will be less happy with it, however, and people will get mad at him. That's everything that will happen in 2022, so now it's time to go over my 2021 predictions and see how much stuff I got right. And let me tell you, oh, this year, wow. This year I sure did, let's just look at the predictions. Right out of the gate, I predicted that there would be no traditional Nintendo Directs in 2021, and that they would continue to do random surprise announcements. That was wrong. I predicted that Bowser's Fury wouldn't be anything special, just a collection of new 3D world levels with a little hub world to access them from. That was wrong. Also, thank goodness. See, Nintendo has this thing where you never know when they're gonna underdeliver or overdeliver, and I always seem to pick wrong. It's maddening. Next, I predicted that Nintendo would announce that Super Mario Bros. 35 wasn't being delisted after all. That didn't happen. It's gone forever. I predicted a free-to-start F-Zero game called F-Zero S, and we did not get that. I predicted that we would get our Switch Pro, and we didn't get a stronger Switch, but we did get an upgraded Switch, and I was right about it being $350, but wrong about it bumping down the price of the old model. I predicted it would have Bluetooth support, and we ended up getting that for every Switch model, so half right? I predicted a Netflix show called Pokemon Genesis, where Ash and Pikachu visit Kanto and get separated, and it's a big throwback. We didn't get that. We got Pokemon Evolutions, though, which is not the same thing. I predicted Mario Golf Dimensional Tour. We did get a Mario Golf game, but it was inevitable, so I'm not giving myself too much credit for that. It was also called Super Rush, and I must say, my idea of playing against Bizarro characters in Bizarro Mushroom Kingdom locations was much better. I predicted a Zelda Anniversary Direct. No. Also, a graphic novel called Tales from Hyrule. That didn't happen. Things do get a little better here, though. I predicted that Breath of the Wild 2 would be called Breath of Malice, and technically, we still don't know if I'm right or not. Also, I predicted that big chunks of land would float up into the sky all over Hyrule, and sure, it wasn't a huge stretch, because in the very first teaser, it kinda looks like Hyrule Castle is rising. I'm sure lots of people had this idea, but I'm still slightly proud of myself. Still keeping my fingers crossed for the robot pterodactyl. Oh yeah, then I predicted The Legend of Zelda 35, but instead we got Pac-Man 35. Once again, I think my idea was better. I predicted that we would get an indie presentation with Silk Song, and that did not happen. I predicted some Smash Fighters, Crash, Dr. Eggman, and a character I invented called Wireframe Ultimate. None of those happened, though I was right that the final fighter would be revealed in its own presentation. Wow. And can I just say, it's been 3 years, and I am so glad I don't have to make any Smash predictions anymore. I predicted that some Super Mario Odyssey 2 rumors would start swirling around. There's been a little stuff recently because of some old survey or something with Sonic Frontiers on it, but there hasn't really been much in the way of solid rumors. Once again, failing to properly predict Nintendo's pattern of under/over delivery, I predicted that we would get a really safe Super Metroid remake. Once again, I'm quite glad I was wrong. I predicted a Metroid Prime 4 teaser. We did not get that. I predicted a Bayonetta 3 reveal in June. We got it in September, but we've expected a reveal for the last 3 years, so that's not worth much. I predicted Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes, but again, that was an obvious one. My titles were way better. I predicted that they would be bog standard remakes, and that was right, but I also predicted that they would at the very least look like Sword and Shield and not really stir up much controversy. And it seems that even when describing what I feel is the disappointing bare minimum, the Pokemon Company still finds a way to underdeliver. Then I predicted a free-to-play game called Pokemon Max, where you can take part in simple battles with people online using your own imported Pokemon or rented teams. Honestly, I didn't think it was a terrible idea, but obviously it didn't happen. And finally, I predicted that we would hear rumors about a direct follow-up to Fire Emblem Three Houses, and we did indeed get some Fire Emblem rumors, but they've all been about some kind of remake. So there you go! Not the best prediction year. The floating islands in the sky thing was pretty cool, right? That's worth something. Come on, I'm trying here. Well, head down to the comments and please give us some of your predictions for 2022. And make them weird. They're more fun when they're weird. Thank you for watching, and Merry Predictsmas! I predict that I'll catch you later. I'm looking into my crystal ball, and it's telling me that you're gonna have a good one. Also, people named Sean, don't go to any petting zoos or eat any ice cream in the second week of October, and I'm serious.